our religious heritage is rooted in the regrettable experience of slavery.
You used to be enslaved?
Yes, we used to be slaves.
You were a slave at one time?
No, I was not. I know. I was never. I was born. I was born in the 1950s. So slavery was long gone.
Right.
By then. But I still experience the legacy of slavery.
How?
And the
In what way?
legacy of discrimination.
In what way?
When I experience barriers that exist simply because of the color of my skin, those barriers are still real and they still exist.
So how did you get to APU and do all that, be the dean and do all that if barriers are in your way?
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? It's a miracle. That's a miracle.
Is it possible because they were not there? At least not from the white folks?
That who was not there?
Barriers were not there. It was all in your mind. It's not real.
Oh no, the barriers were there. The barriers are there even now. Even though I am associate dean and professor of New Testament, there's still some real barriers that you deal with.
When will black people know that they are not there anymore? What do white people have to do to say, okay, blacks, we gave y'all everything. Do you want the land? You want the land, then you'll be done?
You know, we'll know that these barriers are no longer there when we finally become fully human.
And how are you going to do that? By taking
in the eyes,
but the eyes of what?
In the eyes of white people.
So if white people just say to the black, y'all human, would you be satisfied?
No, it takes more than that. It takes more than that.
What else you want?
For one thing, it takes getting the knees off of our necks.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the end of things like racialized police brutality. When those kind of things disappear, when a young woman can be sitting in her house and not worry about police officers busting the door down
Who that?
and shooting her to death.
Who are you referring to?
Breonna Taylor.
Oh, that Taylor girl. Did you know she was dealing with drug dealers?
It doesn't matter what people think she was dealing. It doesn't matter what she was dealing with.
It doesn't matter that she rented a car where a murder or something
Nobody
took place.
is going to walk into the house of a white woman and shoot her dead.
They didn't do that.
They didn't do what?
They knocked before they went in. The boyfriend or maybe even her shot at the cops.
No,
they didn't just walk in.
No, they busted the door down.
No, but they didn't just walk. It was a knock, and then they went in.
They did not identify themselves as police officers.
True.
The young man thought that some other group was breaking in. He shot in self-defense.
You mean the drug dealer?
They returned fire, and they killed an innocent woman.
When you say the young man, are you referring to the drug dealer that you were with?
No, I'm referring to her boyfriend.
I
don't know anything about his background. All I know is that there's no justification for this string of killings of black men and black women for no reason except they make a mistake.
Even if they're drug dealers, pushing drugs, criminals, and all that, they don't bring that up on themselves.
Okay.
As a preacher, hold on. Do they bring that upon themselves by the way they live?
Well, white people seem to escape that.
That's not what I'm asking you.
You know, and
do they bring that upon themselves?
There are white drug dealers, there are white gang members, but yet you don't hear of killing after killing after killing of unarmed black men and black women.
That's not true.
It is true.
No, it just.
That is the problem. That is what all the protests are about. The protests are not about police engagement with criminals.
As a preacher, I got to ask you this.
Okay.
As a preacher, called by God, sitting in the room, reading the word when God called you. As a preacher, does it matter their lifestyle? Can they possibly bring this upon themselves by the way they live?
Lifestyle does not bring murder upon someone.
If you're a drug dealer or you're involved in drug dealing and you're doing criminal things, can you bring that upon yourself?
A lifestyle can lead to consequences.
So is it possible to tell a woman and whomever, Floyd or whatever his name was, brought that upon themselves based on their lifestyle? Is that possible?
No, not under these circumstances. Under these circumstances, it was racism that brought that consequence upon her.
Do you believe that white people discriminate against blacks?
Yes.
Do you discriminate?
No.
You never discriminate.
No.
You don't discriminate.
I don't discriminate against anyone on the basis of race.
Do you discriminate?
I have been discriminated against on the basis of race.
So you do discriminate.
Everybody discriminates.
How about you?
For example,
How about
I
you?
prefer to eat chicken rather than pork. That's discrimination.
Do you discriminate?
Not on the basis of race.
Do you discriminate against other people?
Not on
So
the basis.
you
Not
treat-
on the basis of racial characteristics. That's what we're talking about.
So why did you marry a black woman instead of a white woman?
Because I fell in love with her.
But why do you fall in love with a white woman? You discriminated.
No, I fell
Yeah,
in
you
love.
did.
I fell in love
You
with my
dated
wife.
a white woman before, right?
No, I never dated a white
Why
woman.
not?
That situation just never arose.
Because you discriminate.
I fell in love with somebody else.
Is being a white Christian different from being a black Christian?
Yes.
In what way?
Heritage.
What?
Heritage and experience.
And what do you mean by that?
Black people, even black Christians, have experienced a racial heritage and history in this country that white people have not experienced. In fact, white people have been responsible for black
What
people
does that have to
experiencing
do? What
this
does that have
history
to
and
do
heritage.
with being born of God?
It has nothing to do with being born of God, because black people who are Christians are born of God also. But yet, despite the fact that they were Christian and born of God, they have been treated as subhumans.
I agree with you that the Arab did treat them that way because it's the blacks that sold
Arab?
them.
No,
It was the blacks that sold the Arab.
I'm talking about racial history in the Americas.
It was the blacks that sold the Arab. I mean, it was the blacks that sold other blacks to the Arabs over in Africa, Mummy Africa. Then they went, and the Arabs sold the blacks around the world. I do agree with that. So they were treated cruelly for that reason.
You're blaming the victim. The legacy.
How are the Arabs the victim?
The legacy.
Who were the victims? The Arabs that bought them, or the blacks that sold them?
Chattel slavery and the Middle Passage are the responsibility of European and European Americans.
What the? There were black people who owned slaves here in this country.
No, there were
Yes, there were.
No, black people did not own slaves. Now.
So you're really saying that a white Christian is different than a black Christian?
Yes, I mean, Christianity does not occur in a cultural vacuum. All Christian expressions are cultural expressions of Christianity. There's no such thing as an absolute value neutral, culturally neutral Christianity. That is a myth. If you find a culturally neutral Christianity, that's just white Christianity pretending to be culturally neutral. All Christianity is some type.
From?
Huh?
Where you get all Christianity is what?
All Christianity is some type of cultural expression.
Where you get all this from?
It's history. It's history. It's study. You just read.
Do you love white people?
Yes, I do.
You love white people?
I love all people.
That's
That's what God teaches us to do.
Do you love white people?
You shall love everybody. We do not have the luxury of hating anybody.
That's true. Do you love
Martin
white
Luther
people?
King Jr. taught that.
Martin
Luther King Jr. said, "I will not be."
Because of time, do you love white people?
Yes, I just answered that question.
Do you want your students to see themselves as black first or as a Christian first?
There is no distinction. How do you make that kind of distinction? They have to see themselves as who they are. And if they are Christians, their Christian, if they're black, their Christian identity is tied up in their black identity. Their black identity is tied up in their Christian identity. There is no separation of that. There is no neutral Christianity.
So do you want them to see themselves as black first or Christian first?
I want them to see themselves as human first. See themselves as human first, who happen to be black and Christian.
So Christian third?
No, it's all together. It's like Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Who's first? Father, Son, or Holy Ghost? No, those three are one.
Amazing. Thanks for watching The Fallen State. We need your continued support. Donate to my nonprofit here. Subscribe and like the videos here, and tell everybody and their mama about the show.